Okay, hello students. Good morning.
Hello, Miss
Hi,
Rema. Good
Miss. Good
morning.
morning.
Okay, how are you today?
I'm fine.
I'm
Doing well,
doing good.
Miss. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Thank you for asking. Start our synchronous.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, good. So, have you start our class with opening prayer individually in our
Yes.
Yes,
yeah,
we.
thank you, Anya. And also, have you watched the video that I give you?
Yes, Miss.
Yes, Miss.
Okay, so anyone would like to share their insight that you got from that video?
Can I try, Miss?
Okay, sure, Hannah. Go ahead.
So, from the video, I learned about narrative text. It's about the definition, terus the structure, terus the purpose. Jadi, definition, structure, sama purpose.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Yeah, good job. Yeah, so basically, the video that I give to you is talk about the narrative text, which is our topic for today's class. All right, let's see our agenda for today's lesson. Okay, this is our agenda for today's class. So first, I will show you the biblical Christian worldview as our foundation for today's material. The second one is enduring understanding. The third is I will show you the learning goals, which is my expectation for you for today's class. And the fourth is review previous material, our material last week. And then the fifth is we will jump to the material for today's class. And sixth is I will explain about the assignment. And the last but not least is we will to sum up our today's class. Okay. But before we really jump to our material for today's lesson, I want to remind you again about our class rules. Okay, for the first rules is please open your camera during our online class. So I can see your face. You also can see your friend's face. So our class will be more live and more fun. And the second one is I want you to be active and also responsive. So whenever I ask you about something about our material, I want you to be active to answer and to be responsive. And the last is stay hydrated. So you can grab a glass of water, then put it beside you. So every time you feel thirsty or maybe sleepy, you can just drink your water or you can eat candy. But don't eat any heavy food, yeah, like noodles or fried rice. Okay, it's clear?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's see our biblical Christian worldview. So I want to read for you guys. God created human and the universe with his word. Everything has been plain and fulfilled into one story, which is God's grand narrative. Yet, sin destroys human relationship with God. Human forgets his identity as God's creation. However, because of God's grace and mercy, he gave up his son to redeem our sins on the cross. Therefore, as a creation that have been redeemed, we must remember God's goodness and share this good news with others by our writings. So the main idea for this biblical Christian worldview is we need to remember God's goodness and share this good news with others by our writings. Okay, let's see our enduring understanding. So, as a human that have been redeemed by God, we need to share this joyful story to others so they can know our God's goodness. And then we can share this good news through our ability in writing, especially writing a narrative text. So when we have been redeemed by God, we know that God has redeemed us. So we need to share this good news about God redeem upon us through our ability in writing, especially in writing a narrative text. And then by writing a narrative text, we can create an entertaining story that also help people to know God's grace. Okay, so far any question? No?
So far, so good, Miss.
Okay, good. Okay, next ya. Okay, this is our learning goals for today's class. The first one is I expect you to be able to identify the structure, language feature, and genre of narrative text through the individual activity correctly. So after this class, I want you to do the individual activity. I will attach it to Google Classroom. And the second one, I want you to respect the teacher, which is me as your teacher, and then the other students, it is your friends, your classmate. And the third one is I expect you to be able to write a narrative text that related with biblical Christian worldview. I will explain about this assignment later on. Okay, it's clear everyone?
Clear,
Yes,
Miss.
clear, Miss.
Clear
Okay,
banget, Miss.
okay, good, thank you. Okay, now this is the time for us to review our material in our previous meeting, which is last week. Okay, what we have learned in our last meeting, anyone still remember?
It's descriptive text, Miss.
Yeah, good job, Tania. It's about descriptive text. So I want to ask you, what is the definition of descriptive text? Could may I ask Dewi?
Okay, Miss. So, the definition of descriptive text is uh, descriptive text is a meaningful text that describe the experience related to the sense, such as what shape, and then sound and the taste, Miss.
Okay, good, Dewi. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's about the definition of descriptive text. So, the second one, I want to ask Anya. Anya, what is the purpose of descriptive text, Anya?
Miss, I think Anya is not feeling really well, Miss, today.
Okay, so can I ask anyone to answer? What is the purpose
Can
of? Okay, Hannah. Okay, sure.
can I, Miss?
Okay, Hannah.
Okay. So the purpose of this text is, of course, it's it describes like experience, senses, person, thing, or place.
Okay, good job, Anya. Good answer. Yeah, okay. Last but not least, I want to ask Elizabeth, what is the structure of descriptive text?
If I'm not mistaken, it's identification and description, Miss.
Yeah, that's true. That's correct. Okay, good job, class. It means that you still remember and understand about our last material. So now, let me jump to our material. Okay, so first of all, I wanna show you again about what is narrative text is. So in general, narrative text is an imaginative story to entertain people. So when you write a narrative text, make sure that it is an imaginative story and the purpose is to entertain people. So it is connect with the aim of the narrative text itself. Let's see the aim of the narrative text. Yeah, the aim of narrative text or the purpose of narrative text is to entertain the readers. So when you read a narrative text, you will feel enjoy, you will feel happy, you will feel entertaining by reading the narrative text. So uh, the, the aim of narrative text is to entertain the readers. Okay, let's see the structure of narrative text. So can I ask one of you to read the structure of narrative text?
May
Can
I,
I?
Miss?
Okay, maybe Dewi ya. Okay, Dewi.
Okay, Miss. Okay, so the structure of narrative text, the first one is orientation. That is, it is about the opening paragraph where the characters of the story are introduced. And then the second one is complication, where the problems in the story develop. And then resolution, where the problems in the story is solved. It could be happy or sad ending. And then for the coda, the last coda or reorientation, this is optional. It is about the lesson from the story, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Dewi. Okay, so yeah, everyone. Basically, narrative text has three structure, which are orientation, complication, and resolution. And for the coda or reorientation is optional ya. Jadi nggak harus ada dalam narrative text. You can just uh, make the lesson from your story maybe like tersirat gitu. Okay. So far, any question? No? If no, okay, good.
Miss.
Okay, next ya. So this is the genre of narrative text. So basically, narrative text has a lot of genre, but I give you some of them, which are traditional stories. It could be fairy tales, fables, myths, and legends. Yeah. So basically, traditional stories is something that tell about tradition or the stories that most of the people in certain place believe. And Indonesia has a lot of stories about this kind of genre, about traditional stories, such as Tangkuban Perahu, Danau Toba, and many more. Okay, the second genre is fantasy. So for fantasy is basically a fantasy story, like something that cannot happen in real life. Like this is ada contohnya, science fiction, time fantasy, animal, toy, or even horror movie or horror story. Yeah. Have you ever watched Toy Story? Toy Story movie?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
Miss, I
Miss.
have.
Yeah. That movie is basically is fantasy because the movie show us that toy can live just like a human. So it is just a story, yeah. It's just a fantasy. And the third one is realistic fiction. So realistic fiction is story that show about our daily life. Maybe about sports, survival, school, family, historical, or also mystery. And even realistic fiction is just an imagination of the writers. Oh yeah, we need to remember that all the narrative text is a fiction, yeah, because narrative text is an imaginative story. So all the narrative text is a fiction. Actually, we can just look at the genre. It's traditional stories, fantasy, realistic fiction. From this genre, we can know that a narrative text is a fiction story. Okay, I have the characteristic or language that occur in narrative text. So the first characteristic or language feature that narrative text has is past tense. The tenses that narrative text use basically is past tense. For the example, like killed, drunk, and etc. And the second one, the adverb of time, the narrative text use adverb of time, such as once upon a time, one day, in the shining day, like etc. Yeah. And the third one is time conjunction, such as when, then, suddenly, and many more. And then in narrative text, it has specific character. The character of the story is specific, not general, such as Cinderella, Snow White, Alibaba, and many more. And then in the narrative text, it also has action verbs. It is a verb that shows an action, like killed, talk, walk, and many more. And also in narrative text, is to make the story more live. Like for the example, Snow White said, "My name is Snow White." It is an example of direct speech. The direct speech use present tense. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay, Elizabeth raised her hand. Okay, Elizabeth.
Yes, Miss, I actually have a question. So
Mhm.
in the specific character, you said that the character of the story is specific, not general. I wonder what is general character, Miss?
Okay, I will explain it in bahasa ya to make it clear. So, jadi kalau di dalam naratif teks itu ada satu tokoh yang ada main tokoh gitu loh. Jadi ada kayak main actor. Jadi ada main actor di dalam naratif teks ini. Misal kayak ceritanya si Cinderella. Nah, jadi cerita Cinderella ini main tokohnya adalah si Cinderella itu. Terus kalau misalkan si pangeran dan juga ibu tiri, kakak tiri, peri ajaib itu kan adalah orang-orang secara general gitu, bukan spesifik. Dia tidak menceritakan orang-orang itu secara spesifik, tetapi di dalam naratif teks itu dia menceritakan Cinderellanya yang secara spesifik, mulai dari dia ditinggal pergi kedua orang tuanya, lalu dia diadopsi oleh ibu tirinya, lalu dia mengikut bertemu dengan peri, ibu peri, lalu dia pergi ke pesta dansa dan bertemu pangeran. Nah, jadi yang dibahas secara spesifik itu adalah si Cinderellanya gitu. Jadi membahas secara Cinderella dari segi spesifik. You get it, Elizabeth? It's clear?
Yes, Miss. Thank you.
Okay. Want to ask question? Next to our material. Okay. So I have a next. Who wanna for me and for class?
Okay, Miss.
Tania?
Okay, am I audible, Miss?
Okay. Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So the rabbit and the turtle. One day, a rabbit was boasting about how fast he could run. The rabbit slept longer than he had thought and woke up. He could not see the turtle anyway. He went at full speed to the finish line, but found the turtle there waiting for him.
Oke, thank you Tania. By the way, tadi anywhere ya, bukan anyway. Okay. So, now I want you to identify the structure of this text. So, what paragraph is orientation? What paragraph is the orientation of this story?
I think the one day until the so slow, Miss. The first paragraph.
Yeah. Okay, good job Tania and also Hannah. Okay, so, and then for the complication, what is the paragraph that show it is complication part?
Ini atau ini, Miss?
The second paragraph. Oh yeah, yeah. Much
Ini
to
kan
the
ya, Miss?
yeah, much to the rabbits until he just kept going. It is the complication. Okay, thank you, Hannah. You are very detailed. Good job. Okay. So, last but not least, what paragraph that show the resolution?
The last one, Miss.
Last
Last one,
paragraph,
Miss.
Miss.
The last one. Okay. However, the rabbit slept longer than he had thought and woke up. Oh, okay, everyone. Good job. You can identify the structure of this narrative text well and correctly. Okay, now I want you to identify again what is the genre of this narrative text.
Fairy tales, Miss.
Ya, fairy
The
tales.
tradition.
Ada lagi? Mungkin ada
Fable,
genre
Miss?
lain? Fable? Yeah, that's true. Fable. Because kenapa? Kenapa kok fable? Karena di sini
Because
tokohnya
this
adalah
is
Ada hewan.
this
yeah,
is the
good
story
job.
of animal.
Yeah, good job, Dewi. Yeah, because this is a story of animal that the main characters here is the rabbit and also the turtle, which is an animal. So this story is categorized as a fable. Okay, the last one is I want you to identify. Could you find the simple past tense that used in the story?
Can we use the annotation, Miss?
Yes, of course, sure.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I found the simple past tense, Miss.
Okay, what is that, Elizabeth?
This
Okay,
line is, however, the rabbit slept longer. Slept, Miss.
Oh yeah, the slept. So the verb one is apa? Kalau slept, verbnya apa? What is the verb one of slept?
Sleep, Miss.
Sleep.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Hana. Okay, yang ini ya. The turtle
Miss.
challenged him to erase. Yeah, the verb two is challenge, the past tense. And then thought. Yeah, thought. That's correct. And began. Yeah, that's correct. Rabbit raised. Yeah, that's also correct. Go to the halfway. Yeah, got is verb two. Yeah, that's correct. Turtle kept walking. Yeah, that's correct. Kept. The verb one is keep. Yeah. And then he just kept going. Yeah, that's correct. Rabbit slept longer than he had. Yeah, that's also correct. And then he went at full speed. Yeah, that's also correct. Yeah, good job,
Sorry,
everyone.
Miss.
Mhm.
Miss, yang pink rusuh, Miss. Can you punish her?
Oke, yang pink siapa ya? Yang pink ya?
I'm so sorry, Miss. That was mine, Miss. I did it unintentionally, Miss. Sorry. Gak
You
sengaja,
can
Miss.
erase it. You
Oke,
can erase it.
I cannot erase it.
No, you can.
You can erase it in the annotate.
Sorry, Miss.
Okay, everyone, could you remove the annotation?
Can directly erase it, Miss.
I cannot. Okay,
Cannot.
just okay. Nggak apa-apa. Okay, it's okay. Now we will jump to our material. Now, okay, everyone, after we try to identify the structure and also the language feature and also the genre of the narrative text about the turtle and the rabbit, now I will explain about the assignment that you will do after this class ends. So there are two assignments that you will to do. The first is you need to create or write your own story, your own narrative text based on this genre, you can choose one of these genre: fables, legends, fairy tale, or slice of life. Yeah, and then you need to see the rubric. I also attach the rubric in our Google Classroom, but after this, I will explain about the rubric. Yeah. So the due date for the assignment is in our next meeting, because before we start our class, it means before 7 a.m. Okay. And the second assignment is you will do the individual activity. So before you create your story, before you write a narrative story, make sure that you do the individual activity first. After this class, you can just directly do the individual activity. Okay, is there any question so far related with your assignment?
No, Miss.
No?
Miss.
Okay. Okay, I will explain about the rubric. So, there are 5 criteria here that you need to fulfill in your narrative text. The first one is ideas. So the idea is creative and related with the genre. The second one is structure. The structure is clear and complete. There is an orientation, complication, and also resolution. And the third criteria is word choice. So the word that you use in the text is appropriate and engaging. And then for the grammar, there are 0 until 2 grammar errors. And last but not least, it is very important, is the moral value. So there is a moral value that related with biblical Christian worldview in your narrative text. Okay. Is there any question related with the rubric?
No, Miss.
No, Miss.
Okay, good. Now we will sum up today's lesson. So, may I ask Ania to share about your insight, about maybe your takeaways from our today's lesson?
Okay, Miss. Sure. So from this, actually, I learned a lot about the narrative text, about the definition, and also the purpose we write a narrative text. And then I also learned about the structure, about the orientation, complication, resolution, and also coda. And you also give explanation about the genre and also the types of those genre. And I think, of course, I also learned about the importance of moral value that we have in our story, in our narrative text, that maybe we want to state it uh, explicitly or implicitly. And then back again, we need to really understand that our narrative text also must be a blessing for others. We share God's goodness in our story, and also we can learn from that, Miss.
Okay, thank you, Tania. Okay, I want to ask Elizabeth also to share her insight about today's materials. Please, Elizabeth.
Yeah, yeah, Miss. So I actually really like this class because I love to read stories. So I think by making narrative text, I can like use my imagination to create um, a good story, Miss. But as Tania have said that our narrative text should bless others, I want to ask something, Miss. Mm, so in the previous slide, you said that horror story is also uh, a part of narrative text. So can we as Christian students create a horror story, Miss? Will it be a blessing to others? Thank you, Miss.
Okay, good question, yeah, Elizabeth. Okay, I want to explain about the genre again, about narrative text, which is a horror story that Elizabeth just asked me about. So, as a Christian, kita bisa melihatkan bahwa musuh kita itu siapa? Musuh kita adalah dosa. Dosa disebabkan oleh apa? Siapa sih bapak dari segala dosa itu siapa kira-kira?
Iblis, Miss.
Nah, iblis. Nah, berarti kalau Tuhan menyuruh kita untuk menjauhi dosa, untuk tidak berbuat dosa, berarti kita harus menjauhi hal-hal yang dilakukan oleh iblis. Nah, berarti apa yang harus kita lakukan sebagai seorang anak Tuhan adalah kita mencari cerita yang bisa bless the other. So, kalau horror story, kita menceritakan tentang iblis. Iblis senang loh kita cerita tentang dia. Berarti iblis merasa bahwa, wah, aku hebat loh. Aku dibikin cerita nih sama Tania, misal. Aku dibikin cerita nih sama si Icil gitu. Orang-orang jadi takut sama aku. Nah, seharusnya kita takutnya kepada siapa? Kepada siapa? Kepada Tuhan. Ya, kepada Tuhan. Jadi, kesimpulannya apa? As a Christian, we shouldn't write an horror story. Because Tuhan sudah memberikan His blessing to us. Sudah memberikan kita salvation. Sudah memberikan kita grace upon grace untuk mengalahkan dosa, mengalahkan iblis. Jadi tidak perlu ya kita untuk menceritakan atau bercerita tentang horror story. Yang tadi, yang horror story tadi itu adalah contoh saja dari sebuah genre fantasy. Oke. It's clear, Elizabeth?
Okay, Miss. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yes, that's right. Thank you for Tania and also Elizabeth that has shared their insight. So that's right. By writing a narrative text, we can also improve and develop our creativity and our imagination to write a story. Also, by writing a narrative text, we can also share the good story of God, the God's grace and God's goodness that He has given to us to other people. Okay, everyone, I think that's all. But before we really close our class today, may I ask Dewi to lead us in closing prayer?
Sure, Miss. I will lead us in closing prayer. My friends and Miss Rema, let's pray. Dear Lord, thank you for today's class. We have learned about narrative text. May all the things that we have learned and all the things that our teacher has taught for us be a blessing for us in the future. In your name, we surrender all the activities that we want to do in the next time. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dewi. Okay, thank you, everyone. Don't forget to do your assignment based on the rubric, yeah. I will wait for you to consult with me also. It's free if you want to consult with me every time. You can directly chat me via WhatsApp. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. God bless you.
Miss, God bless
Thank you, Miss.
so much, Miss. Bye.